Hey, this is Jerrod with Huntin Fool, and we've got another Advisor Insights video for you. Today, we're going to be covering the new V3X bow from Mathews. This is their 2022 flagship bow. It's going to be released November 16th, and I'm confident after looking at the features in this bow that it's going to be their most popular bow they've ever released. So if you want to get your hands on one, you need to get to your local pro shop as quickly as possible. Get your name on the list because I think these bows are going to be as back-ordered as last year's most popular bow, the V3. I'll run through some of the amazing features that this bow incorporates here in the next few minutes. The first thing I'm going to cover is the new bridge lock technology. Now this is something that bow manufacturers have needed to do for us for a long time, and Mathews is the first one to take a risk on it, and I love it. Basically what they've done is they've created a dovetail mounting location that runs right through the center of the riser so that most standard dovetail sights, in this case I've got an 𝗙cie here I'm going to illustrate this with, will pass right through the center of the riser and remove all of that mounting hardware that causes interference with quivers and also causes balance issues with a bow. So it does come with its own set screw for that attached to the bow. Do not throw this away if you grab this bow on your own because you'll need that set screw to make this feature work. To utilize this feature, again, any standard dovetail sight will work on this, but basically you're just going to install the set screw that comes with the bow. I've already done that on this bow, and you're just going to slide the dovetail right through the riser of the bow. Once you get the desired sight distance, as you can see, you can run the sight in and out through the riser of the bow. Once you get the desired sight distance, you select the hole that you want the set screw to tap into, crank it down, and you're good to go with the lightest, most well-balanced sight design I've ever seen on a bow. The next feature that I'm super excited about that's available on the new V3X is the LowPro Quiver. It's an exclusive Mathews quiver that is made possible by moving the accessories off of the riser of the bow, running the dovetail through the center, like we just discussed on the bridge lock, and then also utilizing the integrated MX Rest series. It basically pulls all of your accessories off the side of the riser, and the new LowPro Quiver allows you to move your arrows up to 56% closer to the riser, which again is a game changer for weight, vibration, and balance on every bow. Unfortunately, I don't have one to install on this bow yet, but you can bet as soon as they're released, I'll have one on my bow because I think it is going to be a game changer in the field. The last thing I want to talk about in today's review is the patent-pending Stay Afield System. This is an exclusive technology that enables a hunter to be able to service your peep sight and other small string issues while you're in the field in the case of an emergency. This is a true game changer. We'll show you how it works here in a little bit on the video. Again, it's for emergencies, but it's a tool that personally on like a lot of backpack hunts, I would never leave home without. So I'm super excited that a bow company has finally put something like this together for hunters in the field. Now, with all that said, awesome accessories will only get you so far. At the end of the day, it really boils down to shootability. So I'm gonna take last year's V3 bow here outside after we get this one set up, and we're gonna shoot them side by side and see what it feels like from a shootability point of view. All right, as you can see, I swapped out the 𝗙cie sight I was using initially with an option archery sight, my personal favorite. The reason I did that is because when you mount a sight through the center of the riser using Mathews bridge lock technology, you're basically moving the sight pins quite a ways over. And unfortunately, the windage on the 𝗙cie and on this option archery aren't adequate to move the sight pins far enough over to line back up with a string. Now Mathews does have a solution to that. They're already working with a sight manufacturer to have an integrated one that's got the right amount of windage. I also spoke with Dan Evans at Option Archery. He's manufacturing a part that will accomplish the same thing. Should be available soon. And then I'm certain that these other sight manufacturers are going to have to do the same thing because again, it's going to be a universal problem. All right, we're out here getting ready to throw a few rounds of arrows through the V3X, the brand new bow I just set up today. And then we're also going to compare it to the V3 from last year. A couple of notable differences. First of all, I ordered this in the longer axle to axle. This is a 33-inch axle to axle bow. My V3 from last year, the model I had was the 31-inch axle to axle. But what Mathews continues to do is keep this long riser to axle ratio to make sure that the bow is really stable at full draw. So even when they're a little bit shorter axle to axle, they just aim incredibly well. Overall, the first impression of this bow, it's super light given the fact that it's a 33-inch axle to axle. Comes in at 4.67 pounds, which is honestly only a few ounces heavier than last year's model. But something important to note, and you'll notice that I have the bow set up quite a bit different. I'll tweak this bow for a while, but because we're coming through the center of the riser and eliminating hardware out here, and ultimately we're gonna use the new Mathews quiver system that shoves the arrows right against the bow, I'm not gonna shoot as much accessory weight trying to balance the bow with an offset stabilizer, and in general my accessories will be lighter across the board. So this bow is actually going to be lighter to carry around in the field while still feeling like an even more stable bow. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and send a few arrows down range, and like I said, unfortunately with this bow right now I don't have enough windage. We're going to be holding out in space, try to shoot the best group we can and see how it feels. This thing is incredibly smooth to draw and shoot, and it does hold really, really well at full draw. Again, you can feel that long riser. It feels super stable, even with really light accessories on for stabilization. Okay, we're gonna put a couple arrows out of the last year's V3 next. So theoretically, with this much extra weight on this bow, offset stabilizer, a little longer, heavier stabilizer up front, a little more accessories on the outside, theoretically this bow should aim a lot better and should also be a lot more dead in your hand when it shoots. But honestly, it feels almost identical to that new V3X. Yeah, it actually feels really, really similar. And that bow's super light right now. All right, pull and return. This thing is quiet, super quiet, super smooth, no recoil. The first time I shot it, it was like, it just has this really, really soft, dull thump when the bow goes off. I love it. Yeah, I think this is the kind of bow that makes it definitely worth upgrading for people who don't necessarily upgrade every year. Just with these innovations in the integrated accessories alone, gonna make this thing shoot like a target bow and carry like a hunting bow. Okay, I just set the bow up. My peep is a slight bit out of rotation, so I'm gonna use the brand new S.A.S. system from Mathews, the Stay Afield System, and I'm gonna put a half twist in my string and straighten that peep out here in the field to show you how easy it is. All I'm gonna need is a 7/32 Allen wrench and the proprietary S.A.S. cord that is specific to each bow. First thing you're gonna do is take 4 twists or 4 turns out of each limb bolt from fully maxed out poundage. So I'm gonna back the limb cups off 4 full turns, and then we're gonna use the S.A.S. system. 1/2, 1. Okay, I'm out 4 turns on each limb. I'm gonna lay the bow down on the quiver side, and then all you're gonna do is grab the string. You're gonna have to move it so that it doesn't run into the string stopper. In this case, I'm gonna push it under. I'm gonna rotate the cam down like so with one hand. Then I'm gonna drop the loop of the S.A.S. cable over the nodules in the cams, just like so. And then I'm gonna gently release tension. And then I have slack in my string, just like that. So now I can service the peep on my bow. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it off the bottom cam, and I'm gonna put a half twist in my string. Run the string back on. And then it's very important, again, this is emergency measures only. You should have your pro shop do this whenever possible, because it's very important to make sure that your strings are re-railed appropriately into the cam channels. Otherwise, obviously, it can have bad consequences. Once they are, I'm gonna go ahead and pull the string back down again to release tension on the S.A.S cable. Pull it off of the nodules on each side, and then slowly release the string back to its original position. And I've effectively put a half twist in my string in the field in just a couple seconds with this awesome new technology from Mathews. So now if you break a string or cut a string and it completely derails, you're not going to be able to service the bow with the S.A.S system. But what happens oftentimes on a backcountry hunt is you might end up damaging your string and cutting a couple strands, and the string is still alive, but it's not something you should be shooting with and relying on. So personally, I'll be carrying a spare string from now on and the S.A.S system. It takes up zero room in your pack, super lightweight, and again, if you damage your string, but you're still railed, you can actually use the S.A.S system to completely replace your string and put a brand new one on in the field. That'll do. I love it. V3X, get you one at your local pro shop right now. They're gonna sell out fast.